Slim Jim for 2 meters. I use these measurements for my 4 meter Slim Jim, and it works better than my vertical, I'm positive. But you know, all these measurements and a bit of research on the internet, and when it comes all down to it, there is only one measurement for a Slim Jim. It's not ideal shape, but there's only one measurement for a Slim Jim, and there it is, 1.5 wavelength long at the frequency you want. Well, I want 2 meters. The 3/4 wavelength on one side and 3/4 wavelength on the other. Now they say something about 4 inches wide here, 4 inches wide there, or 100 mil. Well, that's going to radiate, trust me, isn't it? Just because it's horizontal. So that's an extra bit of length on 3/4 there. I've just made this 2 meter Slim Jim, the best antenna I've seen to have made. It's so sturdy, and all the measurement, the only measurement I've used is 1.5 wavelength long. One piece of wire. I did solder a little bit on just to get 3 meters 0.90 millimeters. That is the total length of your Slim Jim for 2 meters. Now this 515, right, you've got exactly 3 meters 0.90 millimeters of wire. I've made it like a ladder line, 600 ohm ladder line, identical. There they are. These clip in to your 2 mil wire, which I have used. You've seen them all, haven't you? And that's what I've used and built it up, worked my way to the top. First of all, I measured this quarter wave, okay, which is 515. Put a nice and 90 bend on there, and then I stuck it in this slot, folded the wire underneath it, and then another 90 bend, and started with these spacers and worked my way up. I got about 3 before I got to that quarter wave. Now because it's getting floppy and that break, I put a chop block in there to hold it firm, and then worked up there like that, on the kitchen floor, on any floor, outside, on the driveway. Just keep your foot to keep it straight, and work, clip these in, and then put ties in them if you're using these to stop the wires moving about. When you get near to the top, it starts to look a bit oval shaped, so you've got to keep straightening your wire, and when you get to the top there might be just a bit of an oval in it. Put your tie wrap in there, and another tie wrap. Somebody's clicking on 2 meters on the calling frequency, checking their SWRs normal, just like 4 meters. Then when it's all nice and tight, you can strip the bottom with your Stanley knife, nice sharp Stanley knife, to obtain the, because it is insulated 2 mil solid stuff. I've got some here. Where is it? Right. This is the stuff I'm using, insulated. Look at it. difficult to work with, but you've got to work your way up the antenna with tie wraps, with spacers. Keep working up, pushing the side straight. But you've got 1.5 wavelengths total. And don't bother measuring sides, because all the length you ever want is in there, right? And you're still going, whatever shape it looks like, it's still going to have that measurement. So you strip the insulation off the sides there, and on your end of your coax, a decent length, maybe I used 16 meters of URM 76. Strip the end, one end, and soldered 2 crocodile clips so that I could check the SWR and keep taking them off, working working the crocodile clips up until I saw a good SWR. I couldn't get 1:1, 1.2. I got 1.5 at 5 feet. When I started to lift it up, I saw it go down to 1.2, but it wasn't high enough. So then I went a bit higher up, and it drifted up to 1.5. Then it come down to 1.2. And when I saw that it was 1.2 at a reasonable height, it could have gone higher, but that was it. That must have been a multiple of a half wave length height, okay, which would be well, two of them 1030 millimeters, whatever that is. And it works brilliant. Now this, you can still, all you want is an air gap there, not 100 mil, because if you have 100 mil there, you're going to, that side, this side's going to be longer than that side. You want it uniform, don't you? So just barely an air gap, leave the chop lock on it, but just slightly pull it away so that they're not touching. You just need it not touching, an air gap. Oh, it works lovely, solid. Well, you've seen it hanging there, absolutely brilliant. So just one length, that's all you need, trust me. Don't start measuring sides and measuring this and measuring the width across. You just need, because it's 3/4 wave lengths each side, and that's 2 3/4 is 1.5, so you measure the whole 1.5 wavelength, and when you start, just measure that quarter wave, which is 515, then put your first, that corner on your spacer, and then the other one underneath, and then work up with them. And when you get to the top, it just clicks in there and clicks in there, and it's done. Don't you think? This is my 2 meter. That's it. And they're already building the webs. Flipping heck, give me a chance to get it up. And it's just held up with a single wire. All it is ladder line. That's all it is. Well, that's it there, look. The thing is, when you're pulling it up on single rope like that, the ropes goes down the garden, and you're looking at your analyzer, if you've got lucky enough to have one, you'll see the SWR dipping and coming up and dipping as you're slowly pulling it higher. We'll take the lowest dip, of course. It don't matter whether you can go another 5-6 feet, because that is the multiple a half wave or multiples of a wavelength height, and that is best. All antennas work best at the half wave or multiples of. Check it out, I'm sure it's correct. So it's 1.2 there. I cannot get it any better. I even worked someone on a repeater a few miles away while it was on the crocodile clips, because I used crocodile clips on the end of the coax while I was here in the garden, about 10 foot. Now just enough height to reach the crocodile clips to go up the bare copper to increase or decrease, you know, checking for resonance. I even lifted it up this height with the crocodile clip still on the coax and worked a few guys on this repeater. First time for a long time.